I'm watching my niece performing at the Junior Olympics.
Ooh, what is she doing?
wow.
My niece, she does, I don't know if you can see it. She does synchro.
Yep. Oh, wow.
Oh, the swimming thing?
Yeah, yeah. Something that I mocked incessantly my entire youth, right up until a few years ago when it turns out that she's really an amazing athlete. And then and then I started to like pay attention for the athleticism part of it. But even the dance part is gorgeous. It's just not something that I would have ever imagined doing.
Now, is that using your cellular bandwidth or your
Yeah, no,
Wi-Fi?
I'm using my cell.
Okay.
Yeah. But well, actually we're having bandwidth issues here
Hmm.
at the house with the rain. I don't know what's going on, but it's not great.
Hmm. I've been having bandwidth issues with my co-hosts. We just recorded a show yesterday.
Hmm.
Everybody was getting great numbers back from speed test, but we were using Skype, and it was just crappy.
I wonder if that was a Skype issue, though,
So it must have been.
on Skype's end.
Yeah.
Because, of course, they always just work 100% perfectly. Yeah, right.
I wish they'd go back to the days before Microsoft bought Skype. It seemed to work so much better. So I'm getting like 30 something down, 32 and a half down,
Sheesh.
and up I'm probably getting 4 or 5. It hasn't gone to that test yet.
So Jeff, you've got co-host now? You've changed your format a little bit? I haven't listened
Yeah, I
in a
started.
long time.
Kept feedback, audio feed in Miami, and I said, hey, he was off that day. He works as a co-pilot for LAN Cargo. He's a native Ecuadorian, but he grew up, in the U.S. and everything. So he doesn't sound like he has an Ecuadorian accent or anything like that. And so he has dual citizenship. And I said, well, since I'm here and you're here, why don't you be my co-pilot on the show? So we did it, live in the hotel room. And
Oh, how cool is that?
and then I think everybody seems to like the way we kind of interact, and so we started doing more and more shows, like via Skype and that kind of thing. So, and then there's another young lady that in Charlotte who is a physiatrist or something like that. It's not like an MD, but a DO kind of a doctor, and she is also a private pilot, and did the same kind of thing with her. And then so now we're kind of the three of us doing as much as we can together.
Oh, that's pretty
fun
cool.
to listen to.
Yeah, we have fun. So why is this not showing up? Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, so we're on the air. I see. We lost video from Maria, just static picture. Bandwidth?
Yeah, I just took it off.
Oh, okay.
Hello, I had to reboot my computer and it took forever, and
Oh.
I was having bandwidth problems. So
Everybody's having bandwidth
I
problems.
think I'm the only one who's not. Of course, mine's only showing 10 megabits down, but 3 up, so.
That's plenty.
Yep. Well, I'm supposed to have 15 and 3, so.
I'm supposed to have 50 and 15, and I've got 30 and 12.
Oh.
I'm so sorry for you.
I know. I think it's because all these people are outside watching the race, and they're all probably like skimming off the Xfinity Wi-Fi. Because anybody who has Comcast can join anybody's router.
I think that's so stupid. I think that's so incredibly stupid.
Anybody can tap into your router?
Mm-hmm.
That's...
Yeah, they started this about 2-3 years ago, where they set up all their routers where it's got a public face and then your private Wi-Fi. And if you have Comcast, if you have Xfinity for your home service, you can tap into someone else's service.
Except I turned my Wi-Fi off on my Xfinity router, and I use a different one, so they can't get to mine. But I'm sure everyone's just sucking off the whole network that's in my area. So
Sure.
yay, technology.
Ben was able to get the video on the SQPN page. Yes. Sweet.
Oh, good.
Good. Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay, so you don't have to go over to the YouTube. If you're watching us directly on YouTube, you can go back to sqpn.com/live2, and it's there, and then you'll have the chat room and everything all together. Oh.
Yay.
But you won't see me because I don't want to be on video today.
Oh. Okay. That's okay. Your voice is enough. More than enough.
That's right.
Okay, well, let's see. Let me check the sound. We'll just start. And I don't know what we're going to talk about, but, we normally don't.
I was going to say, and that's different from normal how?
It's not different at all. Okay.
This is SQPN, the StarQuest Production Network, leading the way.
Okay, that sounds all right. And make sure these are right.
I'm your captain.
Okay.
I'm your captain.
All right. Unfortunately, Steve won't be able to join us.
Nope.
All right. Y'all ready? Let me make sure I'm recording. Yeah.
Let it happen, Captain.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
It's a holiday. We get a free pass.
This is SQPN, the StarQuest Production Network, leading the way.
You're listening to Catholic Weekend, episode number 279, the week ending Saturday, July 4th, 2015. Hello, I'm Jeff Nielsen, also known as Captain Jeff, here in Roswell, Georgia, where it's raining. And also joining me from soggy Conyers, Georgia, Miss Maria Johnson.
Hey, guys. It's so good to be back, and welcome back to you too, Jeff.
Well, thanks. It's great to be back. And also joining us from a very soggy Buckhead is Miss Sarah Fabulous.
Hello. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th to you as well. And then finally joining us from Western United States, where they have a lot of rodeos.
We got a few of those here. Howdy, y'all. I'm glad to have Captain Jeff back, because then now it's not me running the show.
Well, by the way, you all did a fantastic job of hosting the show while I was gone and making it run smoothly, and it was very entertaining because I had to go back and do a little bit of the editing and packaging it together for our audio podcast folks, and I really enjoyed both shows very much. So thanks for doing that in my absence.
Glad it turned out.
Yeah. So as you told everybody, my mom passed away, and then the funeral was just this last weekend, and so we took care of all that, and then I've been flying a lot, et cetera, et cetera. So it's been quite hectic for me, but yeah, that's it. So hopefully things will get back to normal here in July. June was quite a month.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of big things happened to a lot of us. Right at the beginning of the month, of course, the CNMC. That was a lot of fun, and still reliving moments from that. And anyway, so how is everybody doing? Okay.
Everybody's doing
Fantastic.
We're here.
Well, I need to give when it rains when it rains it pours category. I'll give Tiffany Walsh a shout out because I saw her in Buffalo.
Oh, you did?
Just
Wow.
What? No,
Yeah.
You went to some kind of a blogging thing?
I was at the Catholic Press Association Catholic Media Conference, which was 2 weeks after the CNMC, and I went for SQPN to give them a little love on the blogging side, and so that was a lot of fun. You know who I saw? I saw our friend of SQPN, Monsignor Ty. He says hello.
Oh,
nice.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was a nice. Yeah, it was a great thing. There's a. Oh, we'll talk about that more later, but yeah, it's good.
Excellent. I'd like to hear more about that. Okay. Let's see. Well, Sarah, tell us. You're in Buckhead, and in Buckhead on July 4th every year they have something called the Peachtree Road Race.
Yeah, the largest 10K in the world. 60,000 people run 6.2 miles from, and it doesn't run in a loop. So you start at Lenox Mall, which is in the northern part of Buckhead, and you run all the way down to Midtown to Piedmont Park. And so 60,000 people stream down Peachtree Road. So it's a really huge parade, and so people go and line the streets and watch, and I'm usually out there watching, but it's raining this year, so I'm not that dedicated.
You can look out your window and see it, right?
Pretty much. Well, and also hear it. There's somebody that's been ringing a cowbell since 7 a.m. So I want to go kill them.
Did you catch the first wave? Because we were up, John and I were up watching as the winter was coming in, and they had a nose-to-nose. They had a tie.
Oh, did they? No, I did not watch it on TV. I put on some white noise and slept. So
I think that guy must have heard Christopher Walken's request for more cowbell. And
except that it's almost 11 a.m. and the cowbell is still going. Isn't his arm tired yet? He's also out there woo-wooing very loudly. I'm like, oh, please stop.
So bizarre.
People are weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so always a good time. But I'm stuck here in my building until the road opens at 1 p.m. So.
Ooh, wow. That's not much fun.
No, but it's just the price you pay when you live on Peachtree Road.
After a series of staggering defeats, Blue Oyster Cult assembled in the recording.
But gotta get here.
Incredible. I can't believe Bruce Dixon digs our sound.
Easy, guys. I put my pants on, just like the rest of you, one leg at a time. Except, once my pants are on, I make gold record. All right. Here we
That
go.
has got to be one of my favorite skits from Saturday Night Live.
I watched it last night.
All right. 1,
So
2,
funny you
3,
talk about
4.
cowbell. More cowbell.
Just what Sarah needed.
It's happening now.
Hey, aren't you glad I'm back?
So glad.
I like Christopher Walken marginally less than this other guy, Jeff Goldblum. And by that I mean I detest them both.
Wow.
They kind of have the same kind of.
Jeff Goldblum likes to watch you do things, Maria.
What? What are we talking about there?
Jeff Goldblum likes to watch.
Don't worry about it. It's inside joke.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'll share most of it. There's a terrible picture of Jeff Goldblum when he thinks he's super sexy, and my kids have made a tiny poster of him that says Jeff Goldblum is watching you. They slip it. I don't know how they do it, but they slip it into my bag when I travel, and I unpack in random hotel rooms, and I find Jeff Goldblum watching me.
Oh, how sweet.
I really just can't stand him.
Yeah, and that's why Maria loves Jeff Goldblum. So. You're welcome, Maria.
He and Christopher Walken do kind of have the same
Thanks.
basic mannerisms, I think.
Yeah, cadence of speaking and everything, where they're constantly pausing at odd moments, like Shatner too. He's bad for that.
Yeah. Most random moments.
So, all right. So we got Sarah watching, sort of, listening to the cowbell and the runners going by, and Maria having bandwidth problems and listening to the rain probably in Conyers. Father, the weather there probably a little bit different than here in the soggy South.
Yes, it is. It's rather sunny, not a cloud in the sky, and warm. Actually, it's smoky here. There are some massive fires up in northern Saskatchewan and Alberta. And the other day, it was there's a weather or high pressure that had moved in just the right spot, so that smoke was wrapping around it, and it was like a fog. It was like a half a mile visibility due to these forest fires that are hundreds of miles to the north. It was
Father, we're getting the smoke down here too.
wow.
What?
Yeah, 'cause
Yep, we've been getting the smoke from the Canadian wildfires down here in Georgia because they're making it all the way down to Texas and then sweeping over this way.
Oh,
So
the old
I know
jet
it sounds crazy, but it's happening.
No, it doesn't, because Father Darrell, same day that we had it here, and I mean, it just all of a sudden moved in. 1 minute it's sunny and it's clear and it's nice. Next thing I look out and I can only see about 2 blocks down the street. And about that time, Father Darrell posted a picture that looked about the same from up there in Watson, Saskatchewan. And it's just like, wow, it's that moving that far. But yeah, they're huge fires though. You look at at least earlier in the week, you look at the fire map up in Canada, the wildfire map, and it's like the whole top half of Alberta and Saskatchewan is red with the different fires marked. It's pretty nuts up there. So we're dealing with that. At least it smells good. You know, it smells like a good campfire. But
Well, what kind of wood are we burning up there? Is it hickory? No, I don't think so.
no, pine. No.
Pine. Oh. That's not as good. Man, I'd be going crazy if it were like hardwoods, like, hickory or oak.
Yeah.
Thinking, where's the barbecue?
Yeah, I'm getting hungry.
Yum.
So, as I said, I was gone last couple of weeks, and did you guys have a chance to talk at all about the new encyclical?
Yeah, and apparently we made jerks out of ourselves.
We didn't take it serious enough.
So
Were you a little bit dismissive, perhaps?
well, I mean, no,
Dismissive of our attitude of not having read it.
correct. Yes, so yep.
There was, for those who don't know, who didn't see it on the post, but there was feedback from 2 weeks ago about how we were dismissive of the encyclical, and I think we were more dismissive of the press's coverage of the encyclical, and the fact that we hadn't even looked at it. We had just seen quotes of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Well, you think that the modern press, what's the term we like to use? The
Mainstream
secular
media?
Mainstream media. Do you think that they were somehow reporting it and bending it in a certain way to promote certain things that they believe in?
No,
No,
they'd never
no.
do that.
Oh, okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Yeah, I have not had a chance to read it myself. Have any of you had a chance to do that?
I've started reading it, and the bottom line is big news. Pope Francis still Catholic after all this
Yep.
time.
Really? And Franciscan
Yeah.
kind of
And
background.
very Jesuit, yes.
And very
Jesuit. That's right, Jesuit. Excuse me. Sorry for all those
No worries.
Franciscans that I offended.
Yes, exactly.
We knew where you were going here.
Well, I mean, it's okay. You took the namesake, Francis, so I guess sort of physiologically, philosophically. Philosophically.
Easy to say.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
Metaphysically?
finished talking. Yeah, metaphysically, theological.
Well, you know what, Jeff, though, you're really on a right path because he did take Francis for the reasons that you're outlining.
Thank you.
That's true.
Sarah saves me. I appreciate it. Okay, well, let's...
Wait, that's never happened before.
I know.
Well, hold on.
Wow.
Yeah, wait,
It's a new month. It's July. I'm going to be nice to Jeff this month.
Aw. So we have some thoughts today. And okay, let's keep on moving then. I'm going to really not say anything about it because I have not read even the preface for the document. So it'd be interesting to.
I've been so busy over the last week or so getting the hot rectory set up for our new parochial vicar showing up. I haven't had time to sit down and read it. It's a lengthy document. I mean, it's it ended up printing was it like 50 pages front and back?
Wow.
It's not a small document by any stretch of the imagination. And that was with 2 pages per side, so...
That was very environmental of you.
Oh, yes, of course. It's a little hard to sit and outline or highlight off a web browser.
Sarah's using a little bit of sarcasm.
Oh, no,
So,
not Sarah.
here's
Sarah's
something.
never sarcastic.
So you say that you can't outline. So how many of you guys are actually going paperless? I've tried and I can't. There are just some things that I need to print out and write on.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of the same boat, that there are things that if I really want to put a focus on it, like something like a document, I've got to have a paper copy where I can get out the highlighter. I still use the good old yellow highlighter.
Yeah, my
That's
brain.
so funny.
I try to use, I have all these gadgets. I have the iPhone and the tablets and everything else. They have all these really nifty productivity apps and, what do you call those? To-do lists and that kind of thing. But for me, if I really want to get something done, like all the work, we were doing prior to the CNMC, I had pieces of paper and I was writing it all down, and something about writing it down and scratching it off, on the paper, it just, for me, works better with my brain, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'm paperless on everything except my to-do list and books. I can't get into the ebooks.
Huh.
Really?
I don't even write in my books, but there's something about reading like having that tactile reading experience. I retain the words and the information better than I do on a computer screen.
Yeah. A lot of times,
Well, there's definitely a physical, like a hand-mind link to being able to write, and I've been reading in recent years how it's actually changing some of the way that children are thinking and approaching school, because they don't do penmanship anymore, and they're not handwriting very many things anymore.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we need to be concerned about. And speaking of something to be concerned about, it's our first break, and I'm concerned about that. So we'll continue with the whole hand, brain, paper, digital discussion after we come back from this first break. And we wanted to thank everyone listening for your support of the new evangelization efforts at the StarQuest Production Network, SQPN.com. And without you, we would not be here doing this and other great programming on SQPN, like all of the Secrets series we have going on, and we have Father Roderick's The Break, and Geek Week, and what else do we do? Oh, The Walk, a very popular show that he does as well. If you want to check out more of what SQPN does, head over to sqpn.com, and you'll see it all there. And again, if you want to support us with your financial donations, it is tax deductible. Of course, you'll have to check with your own tax person to make sure that you qualify for a deduction. But we are a 501(c) corporation, which means that you can safely assume that any contribution made to our organization will be tax deductible. And you can find more information about it by heading over to sqpn.com/donate, or if you're watching us right now on that page over there on the left side, I think, or the right side, there are ways to donate. Click on Friends of SQPN. Another way to do it, if you like to buy stuff, who doesn't, and you like to use Amazon.com, I do. I'm a Prime member and I love it, and you can help us out in that way as well by clicking on the Amazon.com banner, and then any purchase that you make will benefit the organization. So Amazon doesn't get quite as much from your purchase. You don't pay any more, but we get actually a percentage of the purchase price, and it all adds up to a nice sum of money to help support our network. And then finally, if you are in the market for starting a blog or a podcast, or want to sell something online, you need some web hosting, we highly recommend Bluehost. That's bluehost.com. But before you go there, make sure you click on the banner on the sqpn.com site, and that way, when you sign up, we'll benefit from that as well. So as always, thank you for your prayers, your thoughts, and your money. La la. All right. that's that. We got that first break out of the way. So you want to discuss a little bit more about why it is that some of us have to use paper and some can use, even with calendars for some reason. I've set up all these nice calendars and everything else, and I forget to look at it. I mean, I go through all the problem and the hassle of putting all this stuff in my device, and then I forget to actually look at it, and then I miss things.
Well, it's funny where I've got the parish calendar, the free parish calendar, all over my rectory. I've got 4, 5, 6 of them somewhere around this rectory, and I've got it on the phone, and I've got my schedule on the phone, which I'll look at that. Nice thing is, I've got a widget on my home page so I can see what my schedule for the week is. But beyond that, if I need to see what a particular day is, I don't pull up the phone and scroll to that month. I just grab the calendar and start flipping. It's just kind of that habit of, okay, so what day is Christmas on this year? Flip, flip, flip. Oh, okay,
Is it
instead of scroll?
Yeah, exactly.
Is this partly because of our generation, perhaps, and what we grew up with, and maybe the younger folk like Sarah? You're younger. I think you're more at home using the digital version.
I'm all digital calendar because if I don't, then I'll forget. Because I just have way too much stuff on my calendar between work and personal stuff, and so I put them all on one calendar through my phone, and it's how I can remember to do anything. And I put everything on my phone. If I schedule lunch with someone, if I need to go, when I go to the grocery store, everything is on my calendar because it helps me keep a proper schedule.
Yeah, I need to adopt that because I've got a disconnect between what I do professionally, which is electronic, and what I do personally, which is not, and it tends to get lost. And I've noticed that. But yeah, consolidating it all in one place seems to be the logical thing to do.
One nice thing about the digital calendar world and to-do lists and that kind of thing is the fact that you can set up alarms, and that is helpful. That old technology.
What really helps me out a lot is because I use a Google Calendar for our parish calendar. That's what we post on the website. So when masses are going on, when there's special events and everything, well, I've got it set up so it links to my phone. So I can either change it on my phone or it brings up so I remember, oh yeah, this is going on here, and I don't have to remember to do a separate entry for my own stuff. And I do a lot with the digital calendar as well. But then there's times where it's just best to have a paper calendar to quickly flip through if you need to. It's kind of that combination.
Well, John K. in the chat room says, the battery in paper never dies.
Except that I can't take a calendar with me when I'm out and about. I'm not going to carry a big old calendar around. That's just goofy. So
that's what they make pocket calendars.
Yeah, pocket calendars.
It's all on my phone, and it's fantastic. And I've got my work calendar. When I have 10 meetings a day for work, 10 plus meetings, I'm not writing all those down on a piece of paper. I'm just not. They're all scheduled via email. I'm not doing it. People send me calendar invites, and then I overlap with my Google Calendar, and it kicks any paper calendar's butt. So sorry, not sorry.
Wow. Yeah. No, I don't blame you. I use digital calendar for all my appointments and everything. It's the same thing. If I don't put it in the phone, I don't remember it.
Yep, and so it alerts me because otherwise I'd be that person who's working, and when I have a meeting, I forget. So it alerts me 5 minutes before, and that way I don't miss the meeting.
5 minutes. I've got calendar items I have to have alert me 3.5 hours before because I still have a 3-hour drive to get there.
Oh well.
Oh wow.
All my stuff's online. My meetings are all virtual.
Yeah.
So
your commute for the meeting is what, about 10 steps?
Something like that. So.
Not even. From the phone to turning around.
Most of the time 0 steps because I'm already sitting at my desk.
Exactly.
I have a poll for all of our panelists here. How many of you wear wristwatches?
Yes.
I do.
Yep.
Okay, all
for years.
I've noticed that that's something, again, that is a generational thing. I think the younger people don't have watches because they've grown up in this world where their phones have the time. And
all my girlfriends wear watches because they're pretty.
Oh, well, there's
that's a fashion statement.
And then you're getting the geek factor now with the Android watch and the Apple Watch,
Yeah, the fitness aspect of it and other functional aspects of it. But and that's kind of the weird thing. Was people were wondering whether or not the wearables were really going to take off because so many of the younger generation don't wear stuff.
Right.
I mean,
well, you know,
man, I love my watch.
Yeah. See, now I can see if you're like some people where you're constantly looking at your phone anyways, it's one thing. But for me to have my phone in my pocket and see what time it is, you got to take the phone out and look at it. First of all, it's obvious that you're looking at the watch if you're talking, or the phone if you're talking with someone else. Or at least with a watch, you can kind of do you just kind of look down and turn your wrist a little bit and quick peek at the watch.
Except that wrist turn is so obvious sometimes.
Sometimes you gotta be
when you're talking to somebody and they start looking at their watch. I go, oh, okay, I'll stop.
I'm bad habit of clock watching. So I'll look at my watch just to see what time it is, and people are like, are you, do you have somewhere else? Oh, no, don't worry about it. I have to see what time it is. It's my compulsion,
I think, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you guys. I think.
Uh-oh.
That's so funny.
Okay.
She's dropped.
What?
Yeah. Again, Maria?
And she's going.
Wah, wah.
We're hearing like a couple words. Go ahead, Maria. Talk.
Me?
This makes for a great podcast. When Maria just,
am I gone?
Yeah, exactly.
You're back now.
Just,
so you said you were going to interrupt.
Just one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching my niece perform at the Junior Olympics on my phone, and I think that they just won. I think they just won first place for their duet.
Awesome.
Well, good for them.
They came into it in second place, and they just got an epic score. So we just have to hope everybody else wins.
There's some applause.
Being distracted by your phone.
What's your niece's name?
Anna. Herrera.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's on a worldwide podcast. No, not really.
Amazing. Go Anna. She'll be my pick of the week. Whoop! Did I get ahead of myself? Maybe just a little bit.
Sneak peek.
Sneak peek.
Well, this is time for our bottom of the hour break, but I don't think we need one, so I'm going to turn that off. So, speaking of sports, since we're talking about Anna and the synchronized swimming event of the Junior Olympics, is that what you called it, Junior Olympics?
Yeah, Junior Olympics.
Okay, cool. Do they do that like a offset with the regular Olympics?
I don't know. They do it after the nationals, so I guess they could qualify to go on to the Olympics or not. I don't know.
How old is she?
She's 17.
Oh, yeah, that's.
Wow. So she's old enough to compete in the Olympics. I don't know. They're just precious. I'm still watching them here. She fell on some wet bleachers the other day.
Ooh.
And blew out her knee.
Mm.
And they said, nope, you're not going to compete. And she says, oh, yes, I am. And so my brother and her siblings is up in I think it's in Charleston is where they're doing it. I'll have to check and see where they are. But so they're all wearing a T-shirt that is her quote. It's pretty funny.
Nice. Well, don't tell me what I can and cannot do.
I know. So she got out of the water. She swam with a brace. She got out of the water, and the first thing they did was take her crutches. So hardcore athlete.
Wow. Speaking of athleticism, and female sports, the women's soccer, the U.S. team doing well in the World Cup events up there in Canada. And I think the final is tomorrow, right? Sunday.
Yeah, tomorrow afternoon, yeah. Versus Japan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Japan.
Japan, yeah.
Cool.
Did anybody watch the Germany-U.S. match?
Mm-mm.
I did. I was up in Syracuse, New York, watching it. It was very, very interesting match. Very, very good. So.
Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of this one. I've actually come to enjoy watching soccer. I used to not like it, but the more I started to learn about the game and learn about how it's played, I've started to really enjoy watching it. Yeah, but I just haven't been able to watch any of this tournament, unfortunately.
It's going to be tough for me tomorrow because many of you know that I'm a race fan, car racing, and tomorrow is a big race in Daytona Beach, Florida. And at the same time, I think they're running the women's soccer finals will be going on, the World Cup.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because that's tomorrow. I think the women's game is 4:00 Eastern time. So that should be about the end of the Daytona, or no? Is it an evening race?
I think it's 4:00 local in Vancouver and 7:00 Eastern.
Oh, was it? Because I thought that the ad I saw was for 4:00 Eastern time.
Oh, maybe so. Maybe
ESPN.com. I'm going right now, and I'll clarify for you.
we can figure that out. But all I have are pieces of paper and paper.
Yeah, you guys in your
slips of paper that fall.
Yeah, that the race is actually in the evening. It'll probably get rained.
Okay, it is. Yeah, it is 7:00 Eastern time.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, apparently nobody else is watching that, so we can move on to some other subject. How about
baseball? I could talk baseball all day, but I just don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
no. How are the Braves doing this year? I haven't been keeping
pretty
up.
bad. They're pretty bad.
Okay.
We traded away everybody who was good, and just having a rebuilding season or two. I think the Braves are just looking forward to 2017 when they're in the new stadium and will be successful at that point.
What is up with that? Why did they need a new stadium? I mean, is that just a waste of money, or what's your opinion about that?
I'm really excited about it.
Why?
Because I like the location better. There's actually going to be other things to do around the stadium other than big parking lots. And I think that the Braves are creating a really nice fan experience up there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be about 20,000 seats less. Turner Field's too big.
Yeah.
That's probably the first team where they ever say, our stadium is just too big. Most teams are like, they're too small.
I guess. I mean, you got to keep in mind, Turner Field was built for the Olympics, right? So it was built to seat an obscene amount of people, and there's no way of just going back from that. We have, I think, the biggest stadium in baseball, and most stadiums seat about 35,000, we're 45 to 50,000. So it's a lot bigger.
Cool though.
So what are they going to do with the parking lot that has Hank Aaron's the old print from what the original?
Well, I don't know. They don't know what they're doing with the stadium yet, so that'll be part of that.
I thought they were tearing it down.
That's not confirmed. There are discussions of maybe Georgia State buying it or something else. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So what was the whole impetus for making the new stadium? Was it the Braves organization said we're tired of Turner Field and we want to go somewhere else?
Well, they tried to negotiate a deal with the city of Atlanta to get some permits and to get some assistance dollar-wise to gentrify the area around the stadium. And the city of Atlanta chose to fund the new Falcons stadium and told the Braves no. So the Braves said, okay, well, we're going to Cobb County where they will help us out. So they've
pick up our toys and leave.
Yep. So they got a lot. They got really great support up in Cobb County for the leadership there, and you can't really blame them. The city chose the Falcons.
Yeah, well, I kind of get that. Not that I agree with it, but I kind of get that. So what about the? I know this is all local baseball, but literally. But what about the problem, the issue with public transportation? It's not really served that well up in Cobb County.
No, it's not. So they'll have to solve for that. But so we'll see what happens there. But most people that go to the Braves games live on the north side of the city, so the location is a bit better.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, we'll have to see how that works out. 2017, huh? The beginning of the season, then.
Correct.
Okay.
There's probably going to be an uptick in attendance just to go check it out.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Is. Yeah, they're usually anytime a new stadium like that opens up, it always packs the usually even first half of the year or so, as everybody wants to go and just to see the new stadium. Whether it stays full depends on how the team does during that season, but.
And here's hoping we can get an all-star game in the next couple of years after that finishes up, too, because that'd be great.
Oh, that'll be
Pretty
fun.
much a guarantee. That's pretty much a guarantee. After a new stadium opens, within the few years, they do all-star games there. They always got to show them off, you know.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know if you heard this music in the background before. This is Katy Perry video. In her video, I Kissed a Girl.
Yeah, why are you playing that?
Because I just don't like watching that. No, because there is Katy Perry and the Catholic Church is in the news. Did you hear this?
My gosh. Yes.
Okay. So out in Los Angeles, there is a what would you call
Convent.
A convent? Thank you, and an associated priest house next to it. That I guess the sisters have been kind of the whole thing has been dropping off, and they actually haven't been living in the convent for a few years now, and the Archdiocese of Los Angeles, selling the property, and the nuns have entered into a some kind of a contract with one person who wants to use it as a restaurant, and the Archdiocese of Los Angeles have been working with Katy Perry to sell it to her. And so there's a big fight going on now about who is going to actually receive the property. And the property in question, go ahead.
I was going to say, whoever's going to use it in the best way and not something inappropriate or anything like that should be the receiver.
To her house. I think that's about as inappropriate as you can get. No, you can't judge that. But it's, church who ownership is so. I'm still trying to figure it out, you know, because I've got things I can do, but major things I have to go to the diocese. It gets to be a mess, and I can imagine it's the same kind of situation here, because one side, the diocese says that the archdiocese had bought it and gave it to the sisters. The sisters said they bought it, and now they should be able to sell it. It's just like, I'm glad I'm not in the middle of that one.
Yeah, like who really? I guess that's part of the problem, right? Is that nobody really knows for sure who actually owns it.
Exactly. And, you know, for most, I don't know if people realize this, but in most dioceses, if not all dioceses in the United States, like your church, your parish church, is not owned by, you know, St. Mary's Parish Incorporated. It's owned by the diocese. The bill of the title of this property is Roman Catholic Bishop of Great Falls. You know, it's owned by the bishop. It's owned by the diocese.
No, don't say that it's owned by the bishop, because then that opens up a whole new thing, right?
But technically it is. At
really?
least in my diocese, because we're still a corporation sole. The bishop owns
whoever
everything.
the bishop is, not
whoever the bishop.
The
seat, not the person, not the man.
Yeah, not the particular, you know, not so Bishop Michael in my
bishop.
case,
yes,
but the bishop, as in the bishop of this diocese, whoever that happens to be at that time. But yeah, he technically owns it all legally. It's just it's a mess. It really is.
I think the Archdiocese really is kind of siding toward the deal with Ms. Perry, because she's offering cash up front. She's got, you know, and the other deal is kind of a long-term kind of a payment situation. Right. But I would think that you know, making at least, you know, I don't know what the, you know, if it's a sacrilegious thing to make what was once some kind of a religious thing into a secular thing or whatever, but it, you know, at least with a restaurant that the public has access to the property.
Well, and it sounded like too that it wasn't just a restaurant; it was also going to be like a boutique hotel.
Oh, okay.
So you could stay there as well, because it'd be lots of rooms. You know, it's a convent. It's where the religious sisters lived. So there's plenty of places there you could turn into hotel rooms. And Katy Perry just wanted to turn into her private house, which again, there's not a problem there, because it's going from someone's house to someone's house, if you want to be, you know, look at it that way. I'm just not a fan of Katy Perry, but
well, now come on, she is the daughter of evangelical Christian preachers. She has a tattoo on her wrist, Jesus.
Ooh, well, gee, she obviously didn't learn too much from it. Oh.
Tisk, tisk. This is going to crash land.
It already is.
Derailment. Derailment approaching.
You know, the sad part is with all this is it's going to be 3, 4, 5 years of lawyers and lawsuits and countersuits, and it's just. I think they're going to end up spending all the money on the lawyers, and their diocese and the sisters aren't going to see a penny of it by the time it's all done.
Well, let's go from one sticky wicket to another.
A sticky wicket.
Yes,
Good use.
The Mormons, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, is going to be reading a letter in their services this weekend, tomorrow, and basically it's a response to the Supreme Court decision legalizing same-sex marriage, and so we'll include a link to that. Lynn, I'll give that to you. And so basically, they're reading this to all of their members, saying that marriage between a man and a woman was instituted by God and is central to His plan for His children. And goes on with citing some Bible verses that we're all familiar with. And a family built on a marriage of a man and a woman is the best setting for God's plan of happiness to thrive. That is why communities and nations generally have encouraged and protected marriage between a man and a woman and the family that results from their union as privileged institutions. Sexual relations outside of such a marriage are contrary to the laws of God pertaining to morality. And then they talk about the fact that changes in the civil law do not and indeed cannot change the moral law that God has established.
Good for them.
So it goes on.
Good for them.
If you read this, it's just like, I think we can agree on their stance. I haven't read the entire thing, but the several first paragraphs here, and anyway, that's very, very good. And and I know you guys talked a little bit about this on the previous shows. That no matter what they do, you look at the law that legalizes abortion, which clearly is morally wrong and against all of our church teachings, and the same thing, I guess you could say about this, the same-sex unions or marriages as they're calling them, is the same kind of thing where we that's contrary to the church's teachings and moral law, and nothing can change that either.
Exactly. I guess I'm impressed. The Mormons, they've really put a focus on family life. Anyways, as a matter of fact, that's one of the biggest ways that they get converts is through their focus on family life and fellowship and things like that. But they also have a history, if the political winds start blowing a different direction, that suddenly their teachings just happen to change. They have a prophet who declares a new teaching, and it just happens to change. And I'm glad they're sticking with this one. I really am. And it's something I think we as Catholics need to be just as equally firm about. The bishops, some of the U.S. bishops, including the USCCB itself, have put out some excellent responses as well. The USCCB itself called it a grave error. This decision a grave error, and I think that's a very clear statement that we need to be making.
Yeah.
And I talked about it very briefly in my homily last weekend. I didn't want to dwell on it. First of all, I didn't want to deal with it at all, but I knew I at least need to say something. But I said my thought is we need to be disciples, and we're not living up to our discipleship. Because if we were, things like this wouldn't happen. There would not be the movement. If we were truly living as our families, as disciples, which is what the Mormons are saying, what they say consistently, you need to live this, what we believe, there wouldn't be these issues. People would see what it looks like to have a, happy, healthy family by our examples. Sadly, we're not doing that. We're divorcing as much as anybody else is doing. We're contracepting as much as anyone else is doing, and so on down the list. So, yeah, I'm glad to see the Mormons sticking on this one.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Well, let's see. Let me click on this and see if you guys can hear this. I'll bump up the volume a little bit here. And they're applauding. That is the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner of the United States of America. And for many of you listening, I think most of the people listening to the show are in the United States of America. And today is our nation's birthday. We call it Independence Day. And just wanted to mention that since we're recording today on the 4th of July, 2015. And we know that our Canadian neighbors, we know that we have several folks watching and listening from Canada. And I believe you just celebrated your day on the 1st of July. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's Canada Day is the 1st of July.
Yeah. I remember once flying up to Montreal on July 1st, and it was at night, and I was looking down, all these things were going, I was looking out the window going, what in the world is going on? This is, something bad is happening, because I'm looking at all these fireworks going off, and I'm thinking, what the heck? And then finally somebody said something about it being Canada Day, I guess.
Yep.
And went, oh, okay, that makes sense. So any big plans for any of you for today in celebration of the... Oh, by the way, did you have in Montana any fireworks going off last night?
Oh, yes.
So what is the deal with that? I mean, I know that on the calendar it says that the July 3rd was the Independence Day observed.
Mm-hmm.
But does that mean that nobody's going to fire off fireworks today?
Oh, no. It means that at least here in Montana, you can do fireworks within a week of the week before the 4th of July.
Oh, okay.
And then you got the 5th of July to use them up. So yeah, for about the past week, there have been fireworks around here. It has nothing to do with 4th of July observed, which is the federal holiday.
Okay. Well, last night I'd gone out to pick up some food for the family. By the way, I have my whole family at home. It's kind of great.
Yay!
But so we went to one of our Mexican restaurants nearby, and I was coming back and like seeing like all these big fireworks going off. I mean, like big displays, and
oh wow,
it was that sounded like a war outside.
Nothing like celebrating the 4th of July with Mexican food.
Yes, absolutely. It was a North American celebration for me.
Listen, I'm a huge fan of Mexican. I had it for lunch yesterday. I took a Ellen out to lunch, and that's where we went. So.
Anyway, so did you have a lot of fireworks going off over there off Peachtree Street?
I heard something happening last night at about 10:30 or 11, but I don't know where it was coming from. I was going to bed. So, Actually, I ran out to get a slice of pizza and got hit on by some creepy guy, so that was special.
That was funny.
Guido.
No, I wish it was a Guido. It was not.
So
yeah, our big firework display is tonight. So they go over to the park on the north end of town and launch them off. The fire department does, and they do a pretty decent job. I think they do it because they finally get to blow something up instead of put something out.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Now you talked about the fires up in Canada. Were they set off by all the fireworks on the 1st of July?
Yeah, there we go. No, that's pretty pretty isolated area up there. I doubt it has something to do with that, but you never know.
Maria, are you doing anything special for the 4th?
I'm going to open the last blueberry Hefeweizen beer by Catholic Drinking.
Nice.
And I'm going to order a pizza.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to do.
I think Sarah's joining you now. No.
I'm going over to a friend's house for a barbecue or something. I don't know, but I don't know. In this
so done.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you've been partying down in Florida, so I don't feel bad for you.
I have not stopped since the CNMC. I really haven't. And it turns around next week, and I go to the Adele Gathering. So.
Oh, are you going? That's exciting.
It is very exciting.
What are you going to?
Have you heard of Adele Gathering, which is it's like a conference
for married women
party
for adult
for moms.
Gathering. And I went,
for moms. Yeah.
I'm not
my
bitter
publisher.
at all.
Yeah, I heard that in your voice.
So, do you want to say anything at all about your experience up at the CPA?
I do. It's so fantastic. And in fact, I was there when the Supreme Court decision came down. We were talking about earlier, and I've never seen. I was at a media conference, at a journalism conference. So everybody just got up and said, "Whoops!" They created an incident room or something like that, and they all got together and put out what their bishops were saying. It was really cool to watch.
Nice.
That happened.
It was a war room they created.
It was a war room. It was
That's
insanity.
what they call it.
Blitzer.
Yeah. What's that?
I was saying Wolf Blitzer in the situation.
The Situation Room. That's what it was. They created the Situation Room. It was really cool. But I really had a wonderful time there. I went to give 2 sessions. One a very basic hands-on how to open up a blog kind of thing and help people go through that. And it was really curious to see how few of these, you were talking about who uses paper.
Mhm.
I was astounded to see how many people were taking notes in notebooks and not open up an iPad or a tablet or something and get through the stuff. But it was a great experience. It was wonderful to meet so many people in a different industry from what we've done so many years, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Print media. So a lot of newspaper folks were there and traditional publishers, and it was really a fun experience. And I had to get out of town right when Monsignor Ty spoke. So I caught just the beginning of what he had to say, and then I had to bail, and then I was bitter in the airport because we were delayed. So I could have caught the end of his talk.
Hey, before we continue with our picks of the week, I'd just like to briefly mention that we have somebody, quite a celebrity in the chat room with us today, someone who has been podcasting from the beginning of, or just about the beginning of Catholic podcasting. And, let's see if I can pull up a little bit of this show here. You recognize that? I guess that's a recorder.
Greetings and salutations, peace and good. This is Father Seraphim Bashona bringing you another episode of Catholic Under the Hood in our continuing series of a history of the Catholic Church.
Yay.
In today's episode, we are going to take a little bit of break from our historical narrative.
Okay, Father Seraphim is in the house. He's in the chat room. And I just wanted to do a call out, a shout out to Father Seraphim, and welcome back. We've missed you and your podcast, sir. And all right. Anybody else still there? Or am I still just by myself?
Nope,
Hello.
still here.
Oh. Anyway, so welcome back. Great to see that some of the early Catholic podcasts are back with us, like Catholic Family Podcast, Sweeney's, and now Father Seraphim is back again, and he's hanging out with us in the chat room. We're going to have you on the show sometime, Father Seraphim. You can tell us about what you've been up to and all that kind of jazz. So, anywho, I guess without further ado, since we only have about 8 minutes remaining in the show, I should play this. All right, picks of the week. Who? You know what? I'm going to go first, and I'm going to make Father Seraphim and Catholic Under the Hood my pick of the week. Yay! Thank you, Father Seraphim, for being there and allowing me to use you as the pick of the week.
Since you stole mine. Oh,
did I? Oh.
I was going to do that.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. Then I take. No, he's no longer my pick of the week. I was going to give a actually before we talked about Father Seraphim, Catholic Under the Hood, I was going to make an app a pick of the week because we were talking about calendar apps and to-do lists and that kind of thing. And one that I use, I've been using for a while, both, and they have a new version for the Macintosh as well. And it uses Google Maps, or not Google Maps, Google Calendar. but it's a different interface, and it's called Informant. It's a pocket. They used to call it Pocket Informant, and now I think they just call it Informant. And it's a great way to manage your Google Calendar on your iOS device, maybe on the Android as well. I'm not sure, but they do have it for the Mac desktop as well in beta right now. So that would be my app pick of the week. So there you go.
Sweet.
Father, I guess I can skip Father Corey so you can get something else, or are you ready with?
Yep, yeah, exactly. I'm scrambling to find something else right now.
Maria, you have a pick.
Do I have a pick? Yeah, my niece and my niece Anna and her partner Brianna, who won first place. Yay! I can't believe it at USA Synchro. So good for them.
Yeah.
Young women in sports, very good.
So how can we watch that or see some highlights of it?
I put the link to the USA Synchro website that has the video. Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay. They're team 9.
Team 9.
Or a different way of looking at it is they're number 1.
That's the best way. Okay, excellent. Well, congratulations again to Anna and her partner. Is it just like a 2-person kind of a synchro?
It's a duet, yeah. It's a duet.
Excellent. So that's a great pick. How about you, Sarah?
I'm picking America.
Oh, that's hard to go wrong with that.
I mean, it is the 4th of July, and I love this country, and I love that we shoot off fireworks, and we barbecue, and it's just a glorious day. So get out your American flag shorts and go.
And go grill
party
something.
On. Yeah, go light something on fire, whether it's food or a firework. I don't care, but we get to light stuff on fire, so it's great.
Okay, we'll do that. I'm going to go shopping right now for my 4th of July flag shorts.
Perfect.
And I do need to get them here, that's for sure. And Father Corey, were you able to come up with
I was. I've been a fan of the, it's called Lutheran Satire YouTube site. And they just do hilarious videos. They're just fantastic. Well, they just brought out a new one called Mr. Thompson and the Vicar Invent Children's Church. And Children's Church is similar to what we call Children's Liturgy of the Word. And it's just a hilarious video. You know, you're talking about the consequences of children's church and all that. And it's very much worth watching. If you've ever seen their videos before, it's similar to the Gilbert and Sullivan Mass that they did before. Same figures. So check that out. It's a lot of fun.
All right. Excellent. So digital space. Where can we find you, Father Corey?
Well, my website where I post my homilies is frcorey.org. Corey spelled C-O-R-Y. And then my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of fun stuff. Fr Corey Stika, last name spelled S-T-I-C-H-A.
Excellent. And are we still brewing over there at Another Cup of Coffee?
No, I have migrated over to mariamjohnson.com.
Or Miriam Johnson.
Or Miriam, which is
also
Maria. That still works.
Yeah, great looking blog. I don't know who you got to do this for you, but
somebody that knows how to do those things, Sarah. But so I'm over there. You can follow me on Twitter at Bego, B-E-G-O, and you might be able to hear me next week live on Sirius FM.
Oh, really?
Well, I'll be on the show during the Adele Gathering. So check out Adele Gathering, EDEL Gathering.com for a mom retreat.
Excellent. And a great photo right here in your latest post of Miss Catholic Tiffany and Tiffany Walsh in Buffalo and the beautiful Miss Maria Johnson.
Sweet.
Item number 2. Can't get enough of new friends. Walsh, Life of a Catholic Librarian. A very, very funny. She's a great writer, so check that out as well. And let's see, if you're looking for drinking something and a Catholic persuasion, probably head over to CatholicDrinky.com.
Yeah, or on Twitter at Catholic Drinky. And this morning I posted the link for another podcast that I'm launching called the Catholic Hipster Podcast. We had a bit of a false start on our original recording, but Tommy and I pulled together, re-recorded yesterday, and you can check us out on SoundCloud, the Catholic Hipster Podcast.
Awesome. I'll have to do that. And
It's about 30 minutes, so it goes by pretty quickly, so would love your feedback.
Okay. I'd love to give it to you. All right. Well, I'm an airline pilot. I do a show called Airline Pilot Guy, and you can find me at airlinepilotguy.com or catholicpilot.com, and all the spaces, the Twitters, the Facebooks, etc. And until next week, I hope that you enjoy your weekend and your week. Take care, and God bless.
SQPN, leading the way in Catholic new media.
Ta-da!
There we go.
Ta-da.
All right. That's going to be a lot less work for me this week.
You think?
Actually, it wasn't bad. Just
That it went smoothly-ish.
Yeah, that could have gone a lot worse. I guess you could say that. No, it was good being back. I really missed you guys, and
Yeah, we missed you, Jeff.
better than me when I was gone, so, which I really appreciate. So, yeah, it was both shows were really entertainment. Great.
That's good. That's good.
Entertaining. That's the word I was looking for.
My goal is to make you look good so you don't disappear too often.
Usual, sometimes I'll be gone for a week, but 2 weeks in a row, I hated it, but that's just the way it worked out. So, but I'm always confident that the show will go on and it'll be a fantastic show without me. So that's good to know. So, thanks everybody in the chat room for hanging out with us, and Father Seraphim for showing up.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You guys are prepared." No, we're not. I just scrambled podcast and found.
Oh, isn't he sweet?
He thinks we're prepared.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeff just has magic typing fast fingers, so
That's it.
I'm hoping that I didn't stumble upon something that was entirely inappropriate. Which
Well,
I did.
that's always fun too.
Yeah. All right. Well,
As I wear my watch
oh,
and look at my phone to see what time it is.
Yeah.
You ever done that?
Oh yeah.
yeah, I have. All right. Well, I think it's time for us to shut down the broadcast and get on with our weekend and our celebration of Independence Day here in the U.S. So, thanks for joining us, and we'll be back again next week, God willing.